It was the kind of prison you weren't supposed to leave. Concrete walls, guard towers, steel gates that lock like jaws. The United States government believed it was impenetrable, a fortress that even the most cunning mind couldn't outsmart. But on a chilly night in 1979, one woman would prove them wrong. She slipped past the guards, vanished into the shadows, and in doing so, humiliated the FBI. Her name was Assata Shakur. To some, she was a dangerous criminal. To others, a symbol of resistance. To the U.S. government, she was one of the most wanted fugitives in America, and her escape remains one of the most daring, controversial, and mysterious in modern history. Assata was born Joanne Chesimard in Queens, New York. By the late 1960s, she had become deeply involved in the civil rights struggle, joining the Black Panther Party and later the Black Liberation Army. The government saw her as part of a militant underground, an enemy within. In 1973, Assata was pulled over on the New Jersey Turnpike. What happened next would define her life. A shootout erupted between state troopers and the men she was traveling with. When the gunfire stopped, one officer, Werner Forster, was dead. Assata herself was badly wounded, shot twice. The state accused her of killing the trooper. She insisted she was innocent, that she had been unarmed, that she was targeted because of who she was and what she represented. But in 1977, she was convicted of murder and sentenced to life in prison. For the government, it was a victory. For Assata, it was the end of the line, or so they thought. By 1979, she had been moved to the Clinton Correctional Facility for Women in New Jersey, a maximum security prison. The FBI considered her too dangerous to ever be released. But inside those walls, Assata was plotting something extraordinary. On a November evening, 3 armed visitors arrived under the guise of a routine family visit. They weren't family at all. They were members of the Black Liberation Army. With smuggled weapons hidden beneath their coats, they stormed the visiting room. Shots were fired, guards were overpowered, and Assata Shakur walked out of Clinton prison into the night. The escape was over in less than 10 minutes. To this day, exactly how it all happened remains shrouded in mystery. Some say there were insiders helping her. Others believe it was a flawless plan executed with military precision. What's certain is that the United States government, its prisons, its marshals, its FBI had been outmaneuvered, and Assata was gone. The FBI launched one of the largest manhunts in its history. Roadblocks went up. Air patrols scanned the skies. For weeks, they scoured safe houses, neighborhoods, and underground networks. But there was no trace of her. She had vanished. Years passed. Rumors swirled. Some claimed she fled to Africa. Others believed she was hiding somewhere in America. But in 1984, the truth surfaced. Assata Shakur was in Cuba, where the government granted her political asylum. She would remain there beyond the FBI's reach. For the Bureau, it was humiliating. Not only had one of their most wanted fugitives escaped a maximum security prison, she was now living openly in Havana, occasionally giving interviews, her face on posters and murals, her name a rallying cry. The story of Assata Shakur divides opinion to this day. To law enforcement, she is a convicted cop killer, a terrorist who deserves to face justice. To her supporters, she is a survivor of political persecution, a woman targeted by COINTELPRO, the FBI's secret program to infiltrate and dismantle Black activist groups. What cannot be denied is that her escape exposed cracks in the system. It showed that even the most secure prisons could be breached, that even the FBI could be embarrassed on the world stage. And it raised uncomfortable questions. Was Assata a dangerous criminal who cheated justice, or a symbol of a deeper truth? The justice itself was never fairly applied to her in the first place. Today, Assata Shakur remains in Cuba, in her 70s, still wanted by the US government. The FBI has placed a $2 million bounty on her head, labeling her one of the most dangerous women in America. But beyond the wanted posters and political rhetoric, there is something haunting about her story. It forces us to look not only at the lengths people will go to escape a prison, but also at the deeper prisons of history, the prisons of race, power, and politics in America. On that November night in 1979, the bars of Clinton prison cracked open. A single woman walked out, and the world was never the same. And perhaps the real escape was not just Assata's, but the escape of a story too inconvenient, too complex to ever fit neatly into the FBI's files. Because sometimes the most daring jailbreaks are not just about freedom from a cell, but freedom from the narratives written about us. And that is why the prison escape that humiliated the FBI continues to echo, decades later, as both a wound and a legend.